Railroad railroads of death, lie Doar. The term, to be railroaded into doing something, describes the absolute control someone or something has over your affairs which causes you to do something you would rather choose not to do. Consider also, that rail is lie when reversed. The railroad is a magnificent piece of hypnotic luciferian symbolism. Even the construction of the railroad tracks themselves are symbolic of a geometric pattern of cross ties and iron rails which snake across the continent like a serpent. Cross suggests sacrifice. Iron equals Orion equals the royal lion, or electrified iron, which is the product of the thought process. See the diagram below and the unique shape of the province Saskatchewan. It should be noted here as well, that the word railroad is itself full of sigil magic symbolism. Here we see the usual Ra-il-Ro ad, referring to the sun god Ra. As well, there's Enro, for the connection to the Royal Illuminati elite. This is significant again, because of Sir Sanford Fleming's, not Alexander as shown on the chart, connection with the Royal Society of Canada. Of course, Freemasonry symbolism throughout Canadian culture is immense. The tallest phallic obelisk in the world, at least for a few years, was the CN Tower in Toronto, Canadian National Railway Tower. This is a phallic symbol, with the restaurant head of the phallus squirting a communication tower spire of sperm high into the sky. The base of this obelisk penis is that of a cross, when viewed from above, as demonstrated by a zodiac cross. This is the cross of the Knights Templar, the cross of the Red Cross organization, the forerunner of Freemasonry. Eventually, the sky dome was built right at the base of the tower. This sky dome opens up just like an all-seeing eye for all kinds of sporting events, which are in themselves Luciferian rituals of manipulation. The real symbolism is evident in that it's built on one of the 5 Great Lakes. The number 5 is symbolic of human sacrifice, such as is suggested in the terms pentagon, pentagram, pentacle, etc. The word great means yrate or ira of t, and suggests irate, or anger, the angry god of judgment. The word lakes means lax. L, or L, is the father of all gods, A is the pyramid subliminal, and X is the sound of the X, sex ritual cross of the zodiac light beam. The word lakes refers to the moon goddess, or god, and suggests, lakes equals LAX equals Allah, and LAX, the international airport at Los Angeles. Lakes or lax is a subliminal for the sacrifice of Allah, or LA, which is Los Angeles. A reminder once again, this is subliminal messaging, and it makes absolutely no logical, or rational sense. However, as you keep reading the information presented, it will become abundantly clear that this is the suggestion within the Luciferian agenda. This is yet another example of the Luciferian mindset preparing the necessary geographical locations, and creating or conjuring, through hypnotic suggestion, 5 Great Lakes for just this purpose. These lakes, the Atlantic Ocean and the continents of North and South America weren't even formed in their present shape until the continental drift tripped the world into as recently as 4,500 illusory years ago. The Luciferian mindset built in the necessary suggestion that this occurred many millions of years ago. It's for this reason that the intellectually trained, or more accurately, the Luciferian controlled trance state of the scientific community of the world, believes this 3-dimensional light illusion to be real and show an abundance of evidence proving that it is. At least, they almost prove it, but they just can't quite totally agree on a few points. Actually, quite a few points. That's because none of this is real. The main power center of Atlantis is the United States of America. The names of the Great Lakes are Superior, Huron, Erie, Ontario and Michigan. Again we see the need to use names with a, ear, or and However, Michigan Lake doesn't have any us in it. Lake Michigan is different, just like the continent of Europe is different from the other continents. Lake Michigan only goes into the United States, the other 4 lakes are located in both Canada and the United States. However, there's more to it than that. Look at the name Superior. Let's break it down a bit, because all these names are given by Luciferian-inspired Freemasonic ritualistic minds, and symbolism will be attached. The largest of the Great Lakes is Superior. Superior, super meaning over, or above the normal. In this case, this lake is higher in elevation, larger in size and farthest north. However, look a little closer, Superior equals Superior or Supper River. This name now becomes very significant, as the word river or rio, is to revere, or worship. This is the subliminal, not the actual definition. The word superior corresponds to the title given to a sister, or nun, within the Roman Catholic Church, who oversees others in her jurisdiction. The title is Mother Superior. The city of Sault Ste. Marie is located at the junction of Michigan, Huron and Superior Lakes, When entering Lake Superior from the east. Salt Ste. Marie equals salt, or Sol, the sun. Saint Mary. The name Sault Sainte Marie is symbolic of the moon goddess, the Queen of Heaven, who is Mary. Mary, in turn, is the superior one. Let's look a little closer. The letters Rio are the same as those in the word Orion, the constellation. This would seem insignificant, if it weren't that all of sun god worship, which includes all religion, is based on the sun, the moon and the constellations, and especially Orion. The 3 stars on the belt of Orion are known as the 3 kings. These are the 3 wise men of Christianity. This belt of stars is highly significant in the establishment of the subliminal messages being established, that prepare humanity, and in fact, have conjured up the whole body of humanity, to accept the New World Order, which is the Messianic kingdom on earth. This manipulation of reality, using the illusory body of humanity, is designed to disconnect and distract us from staying focused on reality and our original wisdom state. This is the suggestion in the name Superior. This will be the Last Supper, super all that will be symbolically established over the next few years. This is tough stuff to track without a doubt, but the coming pages will clarify and bring into focus what has just been written. The name Huron equals Horus equals Horus, the sun god. This is a simple anagram, a repositioning of letters that hides the subliminal only slightly. The letter N in Huron is the IN of the sun god. Lake Huron also has a huge body of water attached to it called Georgian Bay. The word Georgian equals I rose I using the substitution rule of the Y in place of a G or J. This is the same rule that shows the name of George Bush to mean Rose Bush. The names Huron and Georgian are both anagrams that correspond to the constellation Orion, just as Lake Superior does. Keep in mind that subliminal suggestion is most effective when hidden, but still, almost recognizable at a conscious level. Huron equals UN equals Orion. Georgian has the G substituted with the letter Y. Georgian equals Orion equals Orion equals Orion. Lake Erie equals equals pronounced here, plus the equals I. This is eerie, which means to be mysteriously frightening. The subliminal is to instill fear through what we see and hear. Eerie equals Ori, or Ra, which in turn is what, or water, and the letters E equals I. Lake Erie means water I, and is suggesting the coming flood associated with Day of Judgment. Lake Ontario also suggests Orion. This again, is an anagram meaning, at Orion. Ontario equals at Orion. At Orion comes from the angle of the border with Manitoba, which is 135 degrees, and the angle of the border with Quebec, which also is 135 degrees. This is the angle of the stars in the constellation Orion. The number 135 coincides with 3 on the 12th clock face. 12 plus 3 equals 15, the number most closely associated with the deity. Using the substitution rule of changing the G to a Y, Lake Michigan is an anagram for the moon goddess, by the name of Isis, the Queen of Heaven, which was an Egyptian forerunner of Mary. Lake Michigan equals Missian equals Missin or Missian equals Minisis equals Moon Isis. All the gods and goddesses are just electrified ions, conjured up by the thought process. The act of thinking generates energy, and this energy, in turn, manifests as a 3D form. This is the illusion and is the hypnotic trance state. In an attempt to keep the illusion, and the manipulation of reality hidden from the eternal state, which is who we really are, the notion of creating gods and goddesses was introduced. The name Michigan also relates to Michael, the archangel of the Jews and Christians. In Christianity, his feast day is September 29th, which is 9/29. 9 Island, the number of the fall, 29 coincides with 5, sacrifice on the 3rd clock face. 29 equals 2 plus 9 equals 11. The feast day of Michael, 09/29, relates to the sacrifice associated with 9/11. Michael, the archangel, should be read as the ARK, as in electrical ARK, and angel as angle. This is because this whole three-dimensional hypnotic trance is based on the light particle, the atom symbol, the electrical energy, spirit that all of religion is based on. Everything in this 3D space is electrical energy combined with angles, angels, of one description or another. Therefore, Lake Michigan is symbolic of the Archangel of Battle, who is the patron saint of law enforcement officers. Law enforcement officers, the police, are well represented within the ranks of Freemasonry and religion, in general. This should give a better understanding of what the Great Lakes are really there for, from a subliminal perspective, especially in respect to Lake Michigan. Make special note, as you read through this site, that Lake Michigan is pointing directly at a little city called Cairo, Illinois, in a part of the state of Illinois, known as Little Egypt. This is right in the junction of the Mississippi, Mississippi and Ohio rivers, at 37 degrees north of the equator. This is exactly the same as the Four Corners Cross of the western United States of Utah, Arizona, New Mexico and Colorado. This is exactly the same longitude as the city of San Francisco, and all three of these locations will be shown later on this site to be highly significant to the Luciferian agenda. Cairo, Illinois is located on an active earthquake fault. The number 37 equals 3 plus 7 equals 10. The number 10 is intensity. This number 10 relates to the coordinates of Los Angeles and California, and will be shown repeatedly throughout this site. All this will become relevant in future pages. Now have a look at the earthquake hotspots in the United States, courtesy of the USGS site. Make special note of the area around Cairo, Illinois. Lake Michigan aims directly at this earthquake hotspot. Also, notice the names of the two rivers, the Mississippi and the Ohio. Both are symbolic of Isis and the eye. The egregore thought process, entities of thought. In the diagram of the world showing the continental drift, see above, it should be noted that the words equator, tropic, Cancer and Capricorn all have an or, ro, or un included in them. How come all of these keywords have an R and a vowel? This is Kabbalistic sigil magic subliminal hypnotic suggestion. Sound, shape and color association. What sets this thing, the egregore thought process, into motion, is the gathering of like-minded thinkers, who have a similar purpose or desire, called the ego. This group of like-minded thinkers is the egregore, or egregory, the hidden mysteries of this illusory 3D plane. From this word, through sound and shape association, we get the words congregation and gregarious. The meaning of congregation is obvious, it is to con, or trick, the gregarious. These are people who delight in gathering together for ritualistic worship. The real oddity in all this is that the Messianic worshippers, the New World Order worshippers and the New Age thinking worshippers, are all forming, unwittingly, a massive egregore, or like-minded ritual. All will proclaim victory from within their own unique trance state perspective, and the killing and bloodshed will still continue on as before. Who, what and where is the Luciferian head? This word egregore is a little understood concept, that represents the thought process and a collective group mind. Egregore equals substitute G for a Y equals A or equals RA royalry equals suggesting royal water, or the royal lion. The royal lion is the royal lion, and refers back to the great Sphinx of Egypt, the Lion King. The symbolism of the Lion King is central to the Luciferian agenda, and is worth noting that the Lion King is the egregore thought process. This Lion King symbolism will show up repeatedly throughout this site. In actual practice, the egregore ritual group mind is witnessed when a church congregation joins together to worship. In the Christian Bible we read that wherever two or more are gathered there I am also. This, I am, is the Luciferian group of thinking entities. I am equals I are equals or the mother I, the all-seeing I, or all I, or all I. Again, the Bible says forsake not the gathering of yourselves together. This is so the Kabbalistic magic can be performed. Some call it miracles, some refer to it as signs and wonders. This is actually mind and light manipulation of physical matter in accordance with the Kabbalistic knowledge based on Luciferian principles of creating an illusion. This is the secret behind secret societies. Who then, or what, is this Luciferian egregore thought process? Where is it located? Simply put, this Luciferian group God is in everything you see. We're told in the Christian Luciferian Bible that creation shows the glory of the Creator. This is yet another subliminal message, suggesting that everything is wonderful in creation, and therefore, must be good. In actuality, the thought process, the very act of thinking, is evident in everything, for it's group thought that brought all of this conjured up creation into existence. However, this is not one supreme being, but a massive group of lying entities. This is all they are. And this is all that the notion of God is. They are conscious beings, thinking beings. It's this thinking process that causes them to manifest corruption, which ultimately creates the illusion of death, by instilling the fear of death within the three-dimensional life experience. Wherever there is thinking, there they are. Thinking is where you attempt to plan the future, or correct the past, both of which are non-existent. There is only one moment in reality, and it can only be experienced outside of the trance state. To move forward, or to move backward, within the illusory time and space 3D realm, and out of the eternal moment, which exists only outside the trance state, is to move out of our original state of wisdom. This movement is corruption, or death-related. Death doesn't actually occur, but within the trance state, death only appears to take place because of the suggestion within the trance state, which is constantly alluding to death. The Luciferian group entity is only a thought. This is the Egyptian father god called Thoth, which is simply thought. Thought destroys, controls, and appears to kill everything. It messes with our mind. It uses the manipulation of light as its main weapon, in creating the three-dimensional illusion to come between us and our eternal, one-moment, wisdom state. If you want to know where the Luciferian god resides, where its mystery abides, just open your eyes. You're looking at it. If you want to know what it is, just attempt to plan something in the future, or correct something from the past. This is what the Luciferian mind is. Since thought is all the Luciferian group entity has, and thought is all it is, when we stop reacting to the thought process, and remain in the eternal moment outside the trance state, we reclaim the freedom and liberty associated with the eternal paradise state. All of its deceitfulness, the only weapon it has, is silenced. This is why the world systems are so devoted and dedicated to planning for the future, investing and ensuring for a lavish retirement, hoarding massive amounts of money, food and clothing. This is total preoccupation with something that's a complete illusion. All that needs to be done is to watch, wait, and observe. Eternal wisdom, which is who we really are, dictates what to do, even within the three-dimensional illusory plane. Emotion shouldn't become a part of your three-dimensional experience at all. Emotion is electrical motion, or movement out of the eternal moment, through the manipulation of electrical energy which is itself, the three-dimensional space. Expression and vitality doesn't have to expend emotional energy.